that Meghan Markle went under the knife before her Paris disaster trip designed to traumatize Prince Harry, with that journey through Paris emulating that of
some sort of nose job or plastic surgery. That is a question I have been asking myself after people started to point out that, hey, her nose looks a bit different in her birthday picture.
And of course, I'm no expert on this, but when you look at the before and after images, it starts to become...
Meghan's secret beauty procedures were supposed to make her look youthful, polished, and untouchable. But when those rare unfiltered pictures surfaced, oh my god, it was like the entire illusion shattered in one blink. The once royal beauty everyone envied suddenly looked like the before photo in her own skincare campaign. It wasn't giving Duchess glow, it was giving Botox fatigue. People gasped literally because what they saw wasn't elegance anymore. It was exhaustion dressed in designer clothes. You could almost hear the internet crackle with shock. The woman who once walked into a room and made flashes feel like compliments now looked like she was hiding behind the very cameras she used to command. And for Meghan, that was the beginning of her biggest image meltdown yet.
App where I create my thumbnails that allows me to put images side by side, which I have noticed somebody already stole and posted somewhere else. But anyways, I'm going to show it to you guys. And this little bit here has...
Paris was supposed to be Meghan Markle's redemption moment, her grand return to relevance, her comeback tour, her "see, I'm still that girl" moment, she thought. Stepping into the Balenciaga show would remind everyone she still had it. The power, the charm, the effortless glamour. But the second she walked in, it all fell apart. Her new look didn't dazzle, it disturbed. The face that once photographed like a dream looked tight, frozen, and hauntingly unfamiliar. Cameras clicked, yes, but not out of awe, out of disbelief. People whispered, what happened to her face? The transformation was undeniable. Her glow was gone, replaced with a kind of stiff perfection that screamed pressure more than poise.
So different at the Balenciaga show, so I took a closer look. Looking at her appearance from 5 years ago when she was 39.
It started innocently, one leaked photo, then another. No filters, no retouching, just raw, unedited reality. And that's all it took to set the internet ablaze. The glossy perfection Meghan had carefully built for years collapsed in seconds once fans saw the truth behind those flattering lights and perfect angles. Suddenly, the woman who built a global brand on flawless presentation couldn't hide anymore. The curtain fell, and behind it wasn't a Hollywood princess. It was a terrified woman watching her illusion crumble.
At 44, there is a notable shift in how more youthful her face looks, and it looks significantly more defined and lifted. While weight loss can enhance facial depth.
The photos were merciless. Her skin looked uneven, her jawline unnaturally sharp, and her cheeks far too hollow. She didn't look like a royal. She didn't even look like a celebrity. She looked like someone chasing youth and missing by a mile. Gone was that effortless beauty that once made headlines. In its place was a face sculpted not by nature, but by insecurity. You could almost feel the pressure in every tightened smile, every strained pose.
I think she's had an upper and lower blepharoplasty and a face and neck lift. The upper eyelids are more orange.
The leaked pictures didn't just show flaws, they exposed obsession. The kind that comes when you're terrified of fading away. Meghan had controlled her image for years, every post, every appearance, every frame. But no one can outrun reality forever. And when those raw photos surfaced, the illusion shattered. For the first time, the world saw the fragility behind the perfection. It wasn't vanity anymore. It was fear. Fear of time, fear of irrelevance, fear of being forgotten in the very spotlight she once owned.
Altered, and the earlobe position has changed in position and also how it attaches to the face. You can clearly see she takes great care of her skin and non-surgical modalities like...
Soon, the experts jumped in. Plastic surgeons from both sides of the Atlantic couldn't ignore what they saw. Meghan's face didn't just look refreshed, it looked re-engineered. The symmetry, the texture, the proportions, everything screamed surgical. People began connecting dots, zooming into photos, comparing angles. It became a global guessing game. What did she do this time?
Here, enhancing the overall look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr. Jennifer.
In London, one top surgeon didn't mince words. He analyzed her photos frame by frame, pointing out the lifted eyes, the tightened jawline, and that pulled, smooth neck. Subtle, yes, but impossible to get from skincare or diet alone. His verdict? Definitely intervention. The internet exploded. Suddenly, Meghan's new face wasn't a beauty upgrade, it was a mystery to be solved.
The overall look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr. Jennifer Armstrong.
Across the ocean, California's top cosmetic experts echoed the same thing Meghan's. Transformation wasn't natural. It was strategic, orchestrated, methodical. The refined nose, the elevated lips, the almond-shaped eyes, it all screamed surgical precision. It wasn't aging gracefully, it was rebranding by scalpel.
Her eyes look more open here, and they look more like almond shape or like squinty in the after picture. And I believe that's
Experts even dissected microscopic details that most of us would never notice. The position of her earlobe slightly off, a telltale sign of facelift incisions. The area between her nose and lip shorter, stiffer, suggesting a lip lift. It was the kind of transformation that takes planning, months, maybe years, executed in stages, like a slow reconstruction of identity.
looks more squinty. Maybe I take it back. I'm not a fan of your work, but she does look better. Then going down the face.
And the worst part? The evidence was hiding in plain sight. Those unfiltered Paris photos were her undoing. Every harsh flash, every candid shot exposed what her carefully curated Instagram angles had buried. Meghan had spent years perfecting her image, but now? Experts exposed what she couldn't edit a woman rebuilt by insecurity, chasing youth not through confidence, but through correction. The comments were brutal. Fans who once defended her were speechless. "This isn't Meghan," one wrote. "This is someone who lost herself trying to be perfect." And they weren't wrong. This wasn't an overnight change. It was a slow, deliberate reinvention unfolding over years, every tweak mirroring her ambition. Meghan Markle's face has always evolved in sync with her career. Every milestone came with a new version of her. The actress, the duchess, the entrepreneur. The Paris photos weren't an accident. They were the latest chapter in a transformation hiding in plain sight. Go back to her 20-second softer features, fuller cheeks, a wide nose, and that sprinkle of freckles that made her glow with warmth. She looked real, relatable, effortlessly charming. But as fame grew, that softness started to fade. By her Suits era, her nose was refined, her chin sharper, her smile blindingly white. It wasn't dramatic enough to cause headlines back then, but the evolution was unmistakable. And once you start noticing, you can't unsee it. Hollywood insiders whispered what the tabloids wouldn't print: a little filler here, a tweak there. Subtle, manageable changes to help her climb the ladder. And when Meghan transitioned from Hollywood to royalty, the transformation didn't pause, it accelerated. Gone was the LA glamour girl. In came the Duchess. Minimal, polished, curated. She wasn't just changing style, she was rewriting her identity. Even her skin tone evolved. The freckles she once flaunted disappeared, replaced by an airbrushed, spotless look. Each era of her career brought a new version of her, a new face for a new audience. Her evolution wasn't natural, it was designed. Meghan Markle became her own brand campaign, each relaunch shinier, tighter, and more removed from the girl she once was. And now, something about Meghan's new face just screams urgency. It doesn't look just like confidence, it looks like panic. After years of calculated branding, the empire she built is trembling, her once unstoppable momentum slipping. And with every career hiccup, Meghan's reflection changes, like she's trying to sculpt her problems away instead of facing them. The podcast deal gone, the Netflix buzz fading. The Hollywood calls growing silent. What was once a multi-million-dollar comeback is now a quiet crumble. Her name, once magnetic, now barely trends without controversy. And Meghan knows it. For her, silence is scarier than criticism. So when the world stops watching, Meghan doesn't retreat, she reinvents. This latest transformation wasn't vanity, it was survival. High fashion became her new battlefield, the Paris runway, the designer crowd, the elite circle she's always craved. But instead of a rebirth, it turned into public dissection. Her new look wasn't empowering, it was uncomfortable. Instead of admiration, she sparked pity and disbelief. And behind those cameras, insiders whispered that Meghan was in tears. That's where the unraveling truly began. The gossip world couldn't look away. Paris, once her runway of reinvention, had turned into her personal nightmare. Cameras flashed, whispers spread, and within hours, Meghan's so-called comeback transformed into global humiliation. Insiders later revealed that behind those polished smiles and designer shades, Meghan was in tears. Her team scrambled, her confidence shattered. For someone who built her empire on controlling the narrative, losing control was her biggest fear, and now it was happening in real time. Every headline was cruel, every meme harsher than the last, and soon even plastic surgeons were weighing in, dissecting her downfall like a televised autopsy of fame. So, Angela 11, no, this is not my area of expertise, but you have been looking into this for some time, and you believe it is true that Meghan Markle has gone under the knife. But instead of rebirth, it came off as desperation disguised as confidence. The new face, the exaggerated sharpness, the too smooth skin. It wasn't aspirational. It was uncomfortable to look at. People didn't see a fashion icon. They saw a woman fighting to stay relevant. But you can see because certain things have changed quite significantly, and she's that sort of woman she's gonna do with it. I mean, the easiest one is to talk about teeth. When she was younger, she had gaps. Her skin looked thin, her cheeks sunken, her jawline unnaturally sharp. It wasn't the glow of rejuvenation. It was the telltale Ozempic look that's been haunting Hollywood's red carpets. People began whispering the rapid weight loss, the hollow eyes, the sharp jawline. It was too familiar. The worst part, she likely thought it was working. To Meghan, it was a transformation. To everyone else, it was a warning sign. She had crossed the fine line between refinement and obsession. What was supposed to be her dazzling comeback turned into a visual cautionary tale. At that point, Meghan wasn't reinventing herself anymore. She was erasing herself. Every new version of Meghan Markle tells the same story. A woman endlessly at war with herself. Every time her career falters or her reputation dips, she doesn't rebuild, she rebrands. And that's the truth. No one wants to say aloud Meghan doesn't fix. She edits. She treats her face like a Photoshop project, her life like a PR campaign. Experts have called it a cycle of image addiction, the constant need to perfect the reflection instead of the person behind it. Meghan doesn't want evolution. She wants eraser. Each new tweak erases a piece of who she was until nothing authentic remains. And sadly, the public sees it now. The woman once praised for breaking barriers has become the very thing she claimed to stand against, a symbol of Hollywood's toxic perfection. The tragedy is that none of it works. You can tighten a jawline, but you can't tighten public opinion. You can lift your face, but not your reputation. Her reflection has become her enemy, each surgical fix pulling her further from the woman people once admired. Meghan's obsession with perfection has turned her into a paradox. The more she tries to appear real, the more artificial she looks. Her reflection isn't a sign of confidence anymore. It's a desperate mirror of insecurity. Even her defenders can't deny it anymore. The glow is gone, replaced by glassy emptiness. The public's response to Meghan's Paris appearance was savage. The transformation that was supposed to announce her comeback only confirmed what many already suspected. She had gone too far, and the backlash? Brutal. Even her defenders struggled to find something kind to say. The woman who once embodied poise and confidence now looked hollow, stiff, and exhausted. The emotional warmth she used to radiate was gone, replaced by a plastic sheen that made her look detached from reality. For someone who preached empowerment and self-love, the contradiction was staggering. For someone who built an empire on empowerment and self-love, the contradiction was glaring. Meghan's supposed authenticity had become her biggest lie. Fans felt betrayed, not because she aged, but because she refused to own it. That's when people realized Meghan's downfall wasn't just cosmetic. It was emotional, and is probably in one of the worst professional places she's ever been. Her podcast gone, Netflix uncertain, Hollywood losing interest, her money reportedly drying up. It was like watching a star fade in real time. The saddest part, Meghan could have owned her story. She could have aged gracefully, embraced imperfection, and become the relatable woman people once adored. Instead, she chased an illusion of perfection and lost herself in the process. You can lift your face, reshape your eyes, or smooth every flaw, but you can't edit your soul. Meghan Markle's greatest tragedy isn't what she's done to her face, it's what she's done to her humanity.